Hey, what's going on YouTube? Clash Masters here. Here to talk about pretty much me beating and completing Spider-Man 2. It felt a little bit more quicker than the most games that I've completed and reviewed, which was good, fresh breath of a new game, an anticipated game I wanted to play at that. And so I think it was well worth it, and it wasn't too much to complete. And I kind of knew that going in. I wanted something a little bit more refreshed, but I just didn't know the length and duration of it. And I'm glad that I played it, enjoyed it, and at the end of the day, I just can't wait to see what else they might bring. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like on the way in. So yeah, Spider-Man 2. I'm just gonna say this right off the gate, y'all. I really, really, really love this game. I played the first one, so during this time of the recording of the video, I'm gonna probably bounce here and there from the first one. And definitely, I will say it picked up a little bit, maybe a year or two after the first one did. I haven't played Miles Morales, so there's probably like a small void I'm missing for some kind of small tidbits for that connective tissue. But playing obviously Spider-Man 2 didn't really have like nothing, like I didn't miss nothing without playing Miles, which was fine. It pretty much carried on from the first one, which was cool. So there was that. But okay, the Peter Parker character design felt different, but as it went on, like I didn't really notice it anymore. Maybe a couple flashbacks here and there, but you know, it was fine. What I really enjoyed about this game was, okay, like I said before on the live, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Compared to one, the combat a little bit more fluid. You have more stuff you could do now. Obviously, some newer punches, couple newer kicks, couple newer things you could do that you couldn't do in the previous one, which was nice. A little something um enjoyable. But I think when you look at it for like I want to say frame for frame, but just like formula for formula, it feels like the same game, the first game. Just obviously it's on the PS5, faster engine, graphics look good, look great. So you have that, but it was nothing too crazy and over the top, to say the least. And you guys, I got my Spider-Man shirt, big fan. So I had to kind of just cover it and let you guys know. But some of the controversy stuff that I, you know, was hearing about, I didn't really experience or I didn't care because, obviously someone was playing it for the first time. They had an update. And so they updated small things like the the flag that Miles is Puerto Rican and African American. So they kind of like redid that because they know they messed up here. And there was a few other things that I think they kind of botched, but I'm pretty sure in the later updates they kind of like fixed that up. But that was like the only thing that I knew that people were kind of like giving an uproar about. But the game overall played good. The story was great. It wasn't strong, captivating like the first one did. But I think for what they were building up was really, really great. Obviously, this is also going to contain spoilers. So if you guys haven't played Spider-Man 2, I would suggest you guys go ahead and play it and come back and watch this because I'm going to dive into spoiler territory. So here I go. 3, 2, 1. So with Venom, I thought it was cool that they brought him, they kind of had him portrayed as a different character, but they still had Venom, still tall, big, iconic, but just they gave him different move sets, I thought, which was pretty interesting. But I think due to the host, that's why it acted the way it did, which was very unique to say the least. But um the game like had a few other like cool things, a lot more allies coming in, doing some crazy stuff. We got to see the Black Cat, which was pretty cool. They was nudging at obviously Doctor Strange. You swing by, you can see the Baxter building, you could see the Fantastic Four building, or I think that's probably the Baxter building, but you also had them going to Doctor Strange's home. I don't know if I said that, but say it again. The Avengers Tower was there. They also made a mention how, remember, the Avengers were on the West Coast, so they was trying to connect that kind of thing. But I don't think they're going to connect with the Avengers that game to Spider-Man. Okay. Just had to put the charge my battery. But yeah, but I don't think they would put those games with Spider-Man. Avengers, that game didn't do so hot, so you might as well scrap that idea of bringing any kind of connective stuff over there. But it was cool to kind of see some of those tidbits, going through all the boroughs, mainly just Manhattan, Harlem. I seen we was in Harlem a couple times, and Brooklyn. It felt like more like Queens, Brooklyn, and Harlem, just like right, like right there. We weren't in like the Bronx or nothing like that. And I felt like, now correct me if I'm wrong, but in Spider-Man 1, we were in mostly more, all five boroughs. We had to take the sub and stuff like that. So I think they kind of condensed it, smaller map, get there in a little bit of efficient time. I like how you can kind of like team up, team. I'm sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Could kind of team. What's the word I'm looking for? Cooperate. You could cooperate. I was over here scrounging for the word. I'm like, all right, but yeah, you know how you could kind of like cooperate, do some like team up specials. You don't really switch in between battles, which I think they might incorporate that in a later game. But overall, it was fun. You stop, you fight some bad guys. You might be in there teaming up with Wraith or Morales, which was like a nice tidbit. Seeing Black Cat being there and then kind of leaving, it made sense. But even her team ups were kind of cool when you play as Miles. So there was stuff like that. I didn't really care too much for the Mary Jane Watson stuff, just because playing her in the first one, if you got caught, you were pretty much done. And this one, they kind of made her like she could take a few hits before she goes down. But I don't think, to be honest, I don't really see myself like, oh, Mary Jane on the front line, like really active, really putting in work and making it believable. She might as well just be the damsel on the side, stay on the Daily Bugle, or do something that's not really in the field like that, where you got to be sneaking around all a bunch of these trained mercenary killers, and you have maybe like a black belt in Taekwondo. It just doesn't really fit the bill. So, and I feel like I understand what they're going with for this one, but hopefully, if we get a third one on the DLC, we're not playing Mary Jane Watson as much. Playing as her was pretty cool. Definitely different, but still, it made more sense. That hint a possible Agent Venom was cool while it lasted before we got Venom, which I thought was pretty rad too. Um, but it was interesting. The game was cool. The story to me felt kind of short. It was kind of like, man, you guys could have done a little bit more, especially with Craven. You guys could have saved Craven. I think they could have had Craven maybe team up with Spider-Man, take out Venom, then Craven leaves, and then maybe say the hunt will continue later on. Well, whatever. But it sucks that they killed him off. It really did. And I don't know what's gonna happen too much with Harry. We'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure they'll bring him back in the third one or the DLC, and we'll have an idea of who he can become. Maybe they talked about some serum. So is he going to be like a bootleg version of Captain America, or would he be the Green Goblin? There's a lot that I think Insomniac's doing for this universe that we need to kind of give them credit for, and we need to appreciate the lore that they're bringing in with it, and not be strictly Marvel fanboys, but really appreciate the stories that they're telling with the characters and the lore of those characters. So they're not really breaking lore or canon or anything like that. They're building their own universe, and how they want to do it, I think, is something that as a consumer we should appreciate, and as fans we should love, because they're not messing up the legacy of Spider-Man. In fact, they're telling a good story, great story. And with Miles there, like, even that's like more layers to what they're trying to build for this game. They know this is definitely a Sony owned game, first party. um you can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. So I know this review seems a little bit more different than the Elden Ring, just because with Spider-Man, it holds a near dear part of my heart. So I feel like I could go on and on with it. But I was glad I was able to play it. I'm hoping that we do get DLC, just because the first one we got DLC, we had 3 DLC levels, so to speak. And those went so good. I felt like the base game was great, and 3 of those DLCs felt like combined another game. And playing this game was a little bit more shorter, so hopefully we would get the DLC, more characters, more stuff going on, flush out a little bit more of the world, and we could wait for the next Spider-Man 3 game, or maybe Miles Morales 2. Who knows now? With Miles kind of running the show, anything could happen. I do believe that they could sit there and maybe bring it to to him bring Miles on a bigger spotlight. So we'll definitely have to see. But overall, I enjoyed the game. If I had to rate the game 1 out of 10, you know, it was short. It was very short. They made a couple corrections here and there. The combat was good. I liked the suits. I didn't unlock all the suits, but the suits that I saw, I liked. Even some of the changes of the colors you could do was pretty cool. The move sets, the combos were good. I didn't fill up all the gadgets and all the fighting stuff, but overall, a lot of it was really great. A lot of it didn't really seem impossible. It seemed reachable. The side quest stuff went quick with a breeze, like it normally did in the first one. The main story was very, like I said, it felt short. It didn't really feel like how the first one did. It didn't get you in those feels. The buildup wasn't as there like it was, but then I guess since I was playing it on a constrained time, it didn't really, the buildup to me wasn't there. I would probably rate this game um 8 out of 5. 8.5 out of 10. Big Spider-Man fan. If it was a little bit longer, like the first one I would say like 9.5 out of 10, even with DLC. But for this one, like 8, I put it up there. I'd say 8.5. So, but this one's gonna be different. So yeah, post your thoughts in the comments down below. What you guys thought of the Spider-Man 2 game? Have you guys played it? Have you guys beaten it? Do you guys think that there will be DLC, or would we see that maybe in maybe years to come before they get the third game out, or would they just put most of their DLC resources maybe in the Miles Morales game to continue on that story? So we'll have a conversation going on the bottom. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out my boys Gamertag Hellboy playing Multiverse on his grind, and also Nightwing24, who's killing it on the Apex level and Multiverse as well. This is your boy Clash Masters signing out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Be safe out there. Oh, and the sun's coming out where I'm at. So peace.
Game over.